Yes, setting up systems does take time up front. But you know what takes more time? Chasing unpaid invoices, digging through old emails to find that spec, answering the same client question over and over again. Systems pay you back every single day. They are your team before you have a team, and they're the foundation for every future version of your business. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Thursday episode of the Design Dialogues podcast. And this is an episode that we are talking about something that every growing business needs, but so many designers put off for far too long. It's systems and why they are the backbone of scalable, sustainable growth. This episode is for you if you ever thought, I'm so busy, but I don't know where my time is going. I'd love to hire someone, but I wouldn't even know what to hand over. Or I feel like I'm making it up every time a new client signs. So what do I mean by systems? Let's demystify it. Because systems doesn't mean complicated tech stacks or having your office look perfect and with lots of folders and everything being organized. A system is a simple, repeatable way of doing something in your business. That might be how you onboard a client, how you request trade quotes, how you name your files, or even how you brief your VA each Monday. It's about doing things in a consistent, thoughtful, and documented way so you're not reinventing the wheel every time. And why does that matter? Because if you're aiming for growth, whether that's taking on more clients, growing your team, or just creating more space in your week, systems are what make that possible. You cannot scale when you can't repeat. Here's why systems are the secret sauce behind every confident growing studio. They create time. When you know what needs to happen and how, you cut down on decision fatigue, double handling, and client miscommunication. Less faffing around, more designing. They make delegation possible. You can't hand over your inbox or client onboarding or FF&E tracking if it only lives in your head. Systems let other people step in and help without everything falling over. They reduce mistakes. If every install day has a checklist and every sourcing doc follows a process, you're far less likely to forget the small little things. Your future self will love you for the systems you put in place. They increase client confidence. Clients notice when things feel clear and organized. A streamlined onboarding, consistent communication, and tidy invoicing equals a better client experience, which is going to equal more referrals. The top 3 systems that you need to grow. You don't need hundreds of standard operating procedures, SOPs, to start seeing results. Here are 3 foundational systems that I think every interior design studio should have. The first is a clear and concise onboarding system. This includes welcome email templates, service agreements and invoice process, key dates or project milestones, and a way to educate the client on how we work. This sets the tone from day one and immediately puts you in the driver's seat. A repeatable project workflow. Map out your design phases: concept, development, documentation, procurement, install. Then outline what happens at each stage, what's delivered, what's needed from the client, what internal steps happen. The third system that you should all have is a communication system. How do clients contact you? When do they get updates? Is there a regular check-in or presentation rhythm? You're allowed to set boundaries and expectations, and when you communicate consistently, you don't just manage the work, you manage the relationship. Yes, setting up systems does take time up front, but you know what takes more time? chasing unpaid invoices, digging through old emails to find that spec, answering the same client question over and over again. Systems pay you back every single day. They are your team before you have a team, and they're the foundation for every future version of your business. So if you're feeling maxed out or dreaming of scaling or just sick of doing the same things over and over, start with one system, one repeatable process you can tighten up, template, and streamline. Because growth isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things in the right order with less friction. And systems, they're the secret to that. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Design Dialogues podcast. I really hope you found it helpful. And if you have another designer friend who you think will also find it helpful, I would love for you to share it with them. And if you need help, of course, reach out. As you all know, I love good systems. Catch you next time for our next Design Dialogue. That's it for today's episode. I hope this gave you some fresh ideas and motivation to refine how you run your studio. But here's the thing, having the right strategies is one thing, actually implementing them is another. And if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or just unsure where to start, that's exactly what my Systems and Processes Health Check is for. It's a one-on-one deep dive into how your studio runs, pinpointing where things are working, where they're not, and giving you a clear roadmap to streamline your processes. And the thing is, my health check is different from other mentoring out there. We don't just talk, we put together clear, actionable items that I hold you accountable for, because I want to make sure that at the end of the health check, you see a real difference in your business. Imagine having a studio that runs smoothly, where you're in control, and where you can finally focus on the design work that you love. If that sounds like exactly what you need, head to the website to book in your health check today. Thanks for tuning in, and if you found this episode helpful, share it with a fellow designer who could use these insights too. See you for our next Design Dialogue.